Hey everyone, it's Ivan, KitBadger.com, here to bring you another gear review, and today we're talking about this guy, which is the polySTRIKER XL by Exotac. What is the polySTRIKER XL? Ultimately, it's a ferro rod, and with it, it actually has a self-nesting tungsten carbide striker, which does a pretty good job. You can use these a number of different ways. One of the ways I'll use it is when I'm using my MSR Whisperlight International. It's one of those types of stoves where you actually have to prime it. So you'll end up letting the fuel reservoir kind of fill up down here at the bottom. And once that little fuel cup is ready, you light it. Well, don't necessarily want to get down there and light it with matches usually. Usually end up jumping back. So you can use something like this and throw sparks in there. Pretty handy. But what about if we just want to make a fire? This guy will definitely do a good job for us making a fire, but since we're throwing sparks, we want sparks to be able to catch in something. So we're gonna want something kind of fluffy, whether we're using moss or there's all kinds of aftermarket, basically little fire starters. But we're gonna go ahead and make ourselves a little nest out of this moss and see if we can't get it going. And once we do, we'll make sure we have plenty of other little stuff on hand so we can get this guy going and hang out by our fire. My nice little bird nest down here, nice and airy, ready to catch some sparks. And I can either pull a ferro rod into me or I can push this away, however you want to do it. And now we got it. Work on keeping this thing going. What do I like about this little guy? Well, this thing throws sparks. It does a great job. As you can see, if you have something light and fluffy that's gonna catch a spark, this thing will absolutely throw them. And this tungsten carbide scraper does a really great job of, rather than having sparks just going everywhere, of kind of directing them wherever you're actually trying to get those sparks. First time I saw this, Chris from Exotac was at SHOT Show 2018. And he's like, oh yeah, have you seen this? And he's just like, it's like showers. I was waiting for him to catch the carpet on fire in the casino, but good thing it didn't happen. Thing's really rad though. Dimensionally, this thing's not that big. Doesn't take up much space and it's really light. Handle itself's made out of recycled ABS plastic and the ferro rod is 5/16 of an inch thick. Has this black coating. Once that coating's off, you can go ahead and scrape and get sparks. And I really love this tungsten carbide scraper, which very handily nests right inside it. Is this my go-to emergency fire starter? It is not, especially if you've seen my series to build a fire. But I love this thing. Thing does a really good job. There's a lot of like emergency ferro rods out there, and one, if it's an emergency, ferro rod probably isn't the best thing to be using to get a fire going in an emergency, but most of them are really small and consequently hard to use, whereas this is large. Additionally, the striker is self-contained, so you're not going to lose this. And being bigger, one, you throw a lot larger volume of sparks, but additionally, even if my hands are cold and numb, I can still use this thing just as far as gross motor skills go. polySTRIKER XL has become a permanent fixture in my backpack. Whether I'm out on a day hike or out in the backcountry doing some backpacking, some exploring, great little ferro rod, and made by a company here in the US. If you want to pick one up, you can get them through Amazon, usually around 16 bucks, or if you're a member and have access to the Badger Den, make sure you go there and take advantage of that discount, get a really good deal on one directly through Exotac. And as always, thanks for joining us at KitBadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.